my neck got hurt like about a month ago, and then for a solid month afterwards, my back was still hurting. So I went to this place. I thought it was just a chiropractor. Like I went thinking this is a guy who's going to poke my back, say, does that hurt when I poke it? And I'm going to say, yes, it does, because that's where it hurts. Mm-hmm. And then he was going to say, all right, you're stupid. You sit on your computer all day. I was pretty positive that was how
That's
it was
not what chiropractors do.
Right?
Sure. But they do more than that. They move you. But
my perception of chiropractors is poke your back and then they're done.
Just like an observant doctor? That's what you think they are?
Yeah, that is a back. You definitely have a spine.
He's so like, writes some notes down. He's playing tic-tac-toe.
And I sit down and he's like, cool, so what we do here, we have like a bunch of different specialists. We're not just chiropractors, we're also medicine, blah, blah, blah.
We are also medicine.
Yeah, we are also ourselves medicine. And then he was like, all right, so here are these shorts. Take off everything, but only put on the shorts, and we're going to take some pictures of you. And I was like, all right. Okay. It was a really, like, it's a nice place, so I was thinking there's no way, if this was some scheme.
Like a garage.
Yeah, like if it didn't look as nice as it did inside, I would have started to be like,
you know, we're not just,
we get into all
just chiropractors over here. I'll go ahead and put on these shorts. Take a picture.
Here at Mega Back Bend over. But so the only thing, and then this like nurse comes in, and she, you know, I'm then in the shorts, and I was like, he said to take everything off. I didn't just do that because when he left, I had that moment where I was like, did he actually say to like take my shirt off and stuff, or is
just getting
this
naked,
person about to just walk in and be like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you wearing his shorts that he just put down over there? And she was like, yeah, no, okay. So we had to take these like posture pictures. They took x-rays of me.
Fuck, now you're making me think about my posture.
I know, dude. I'm thinking, I'm so aware of it now too. Even in the car, I was like driving like a fucking mannequin. And then she takes this machine out and she's like, okay, stick your hand in this. And it's this weird thing. I put my finger in and it clamps down on my fingers. And she goes, now this is going to measure your stress responses. And she's being really vague about what was about to happen to me.
Your thetan levels are off the charts.
At all, dude.
Tell me all of your secrets.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she was like, so it's going to basically measure like how your body responds to, you know, stressful input. And I'm thinking, and I didn't want to be like a little bitch either, so I was like, oh, this is about to like shock me. I'm cool with that. But I knew for certain the second it zapped me or poked me or anything, I was about to be like, ah! Like scream like a little baby. It didn't do anything. In fact, it did so little that I was positive they were making it all up. Like,
I mean, that's genius, right? Where it's just like you're expecting it to do something, so you're stressing out.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, I was like, is that part of it? Because she's trying to like freak me out for a second. And then they brought out this other thing that basically is like a thing you put your palm on as a metal part for your palm and each of your fingers. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, put your hand on there. And then like we're looking at this big screen in front of me because it was all attached to a computer and stuff. And then I start seeing like across the screen, it's like apples, bananas, basil, broccoli. And I'm like,
oh wow, so it's breaking
Pictures
you down to your components.
No, it was like it said it like basically in when a program's like running a script, it was just running by on the screen.
Sure.
And I'm like, so what's up? Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, we're scanning through every food to see what your body responds to, negatively or positively. But she's setting it all up to telling me like, yeah, it's going to tell us basically what you're like, what's up with your body. And it was getting so specific with the different things that it was testing me for. I was waiting for just the printout to come out and be like, oh, you're gay. And also, you're also a coward.
But like, so it was, okay, apples, bananas, you know, oranges are running across the screen. Is it like absorbing your sweat or something?
I have no idea. The way I understood it, and I said to her when I was there too, I was like, you know, if I saw this in a movie or a TV show, I would think this is bullshit. I would be like, there's nothing that does that that simply. And she was like, yeah.
Well, okay, do you remember that whole scandal with that chick, Elizabeth Holmes or whatever, where she's like this, it was like huge, 2017 or maybe 2016. She went to Stanford. She dropped out. She's like a woman, Steve Jobs. She like modeled herself after Steve Jobs. And then she started this company called like, I don't remember what it was called. But
I remember what you mean. It's the thing about diabetes where it said it could read your blood without taking
reads your blood, but not diabetes. It's like, it'll read your blood and tell you like if you have any disease, basically. She was like, I'll read your blood and tell you if you have all these.
All without actually pricking your skin, which was the issue.
Your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's like, I hate needles. And she built this like multi-billion-dollar corporation. And turns out like one of the main scientists killed himself because he didn't have the science for it. And turns out she was just full of shit. It's called Theranos. Theranos is what it was called.
I love it, dude.
Yes,
so he's coming knocking. Steve, do you have the science? Steve, do you have enough science? Fuck, I don't have nearly enough science.
The beer bottles rolling around. Shit. Oh, God. I didn't.
Hang on a second.
Dude, actually, the chick that ran this was so ruthless, Elizabeth Holmes, that her whole thing was like everything's secret, top secret. Like her whole thing, like when you applied for a job there, you didn't even, in the interview, you didn't know what the company was.
Good.
Or you didn't, like, you had to sign an NDA and everything.
Right.
So when the scientist killed himself, she called the wife of the scientist, and like instead of being like, "Hey, I'm so sorry, your husband's dead," she was like, "Where is his data? You need to like deliver everything that's property of therapy." She was like so
Stone
fucking
cold.
evil, dude. Yeah. So I'm like, is this like that?
It's funny how in retrospect we're just like, yeah, her whole thing was secrets. It's like, no, her whole thing was bullshit. Like there was none of this was true, and so she couldn't let anybody know, or else everything would fall apart.
You think about it as a lie that's spiraled out of control.
Wait, we should fuck.
Sorry. Yeah.
I fucked up the intro. Wait a minute.
Good transition.
Well, I mean, if you just rolled with it and not, if you had said,
no, because
"Oh, we fucked
I
it
have
up."
to put on the brakes when I say, "Welcome to Reasonable Beef."
Okay. Okay, good. No, you covered it.
Just growing increasingly loud, plays through the whole episode.
Why did you put screams in it?
Welcome to Reasonable Beef. My name is Tim Kish. I am joined by my co-host, as usual.
Dom.
And who's joining us today?
Yusef Roach.
What's up, Yusef? How you been?
Pretty good.
And
That's not good. I just told you I wasn't before this.
Pretty tragic, actually. Like a lot of bad shit keeps happening to you, but that's okay. Now you're here.
Spirits.
Beef is
Greatest
about
thing-
forgetting your problems.
Yeah.
Pretending that you have opinions that matter.
Is that what it's about?
Yeah, that's what I think every time.
I thought it was about $200 in Patreon money a month that I blow.
Oh, is
at
it
the
200
casino.
now?
I don't know. I just
Wow,
I'm
big-
rounding up
Yeah, rounding up
a lot,
from
about $100.
about $200.
$200. I'm rounding up a Patreon account. We don't
Yeah,
even
right.
have. Yes, and welcome, Yusuf. Who are you? What do you do?
What do I do? I was just a comedian, fucking asshole. Yeah.
Welcome.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to LA, Austin City.
Oh
Comic.
yeah, Austin, Virgin
nice.
Islands. Just all kinds of
Cool.
shit.
Virgin Islands comic.
I have no
Number one
like.
comic in the
Everyone
Virgin
has like a
Islands.
thing where they get on a podcast and they're like, "Oh me, I was that Madonna video or whatever." But like, I have nothing.
Yeah.
Ever. So.
How did you feel when Richard Branson bought Virgin Islands? How did
Good.
was
Pretty
that
good.
fucked up when this is like
An entire
does he
place.
own
this is
an island?
the Interscope archipelago? I don't know. It's just
He's one of
stupid.
those private island guys. Right?
He seems like the kind of dude
Absolutely.
that has like an island in the shape of his face.
And so like, is that the Virgin Island?
I
They
guess
are now.
That was bad. And
Copyrighted the
it's
name.
copyright infringement.
I like how you like felt like you had to have something cool to say. Where like this entire podcast is just because we're on this side of it, we just get to be the ones who ask, "What do you have cool going on?" But the secret is we have nothing cool going on. Like we're just sitting
at all.
under the guise of a
Here's the
podcast.
thing, though, you can always say a reasonable beef. I have no. You can always be like, "Oh, me, I got RB," But me, I have no fucking. I have no
RB
I have no
responsibilities.
RB.
concrete. I have
That's
no
all
nothing.
right.
No foundation. That's
Yeah.
what it's called.
I feel you.
Well, what a disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we saw.
What did we see?
Black Panther.
We sure did.
Woo!
Hey.
Just came out this year, directed by Ryan Kugelman, and it stars Chad
Cougs.
Boseman,
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
Hell yeah.
The Pete Man Wong Man.
Which one is that?
Lupita.
Oh.
What do you mean? The Pete Man
Who's the other one that starts with
Who else
Pete?
is that? Lupe Fiasco Man?
Yeah, Lupita Man Fiesta. Yes, Lupita Nyong'o.
Danai Gurira.
That guy.
She's that woman. Yeah, she's the breakout star.
And Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis and Daniel.
Okay, can we fucking just
Daniel,
look?
yes, from
Oh,
Damn
I'm
Daniel
sorry.
with the white vans.
No,
Who's-
right. What's his name? Who was just in Get Out?
Kaluuya.
Yes.
Wait, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna
interrupted for a
say,
stupid ass joke.
I'm just so
Talking about
excited
Andy
and
Serkis.
caffeinated. I feel bad. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
no, no.
stepping all over you guys. I fucking feel
This
bad.
is the most energetic nighttime beef we've probably ever
Keep
had.
going. This is great. I love it.
Okay.
Step all over me.
Well, fuck it. I'm the only black person on this planet.
only black prostitute.
I'm
on
the
this
only
planet.
black prostitute on this fucking planet that did not enjoy this movie.
Oh, what?
and I want to talk about it.
Oh God, this is gonna be here. We have this dynamic again.
Yeah.
Where Tim is gonna be a little bit right in the middle. I'm gonna be like all positive, and then we're gonna have someone all negative, and then at the end of it, we're never gonna speak again to
I
each
don't
other.
even think you got a middle boy, dude. He
See,
literally
no.
messaged me saying like, "Let's bully
We're
him."
gonna bully you.
Oh, sick! This is fun. No, I'm glad.
No. I'm a lot lighter on the movie just because I have come around. I've watched it twice. I went to second screening within 2 days, and this has convinced me that the theater that you see it in entirely shapes.
Oh my God!
dude,
Are you
yeah,
doing the
fucking movie that you
like
see.
see it with black people thing or whatever?
No, absolutely.
Oh, okay. What?
First of all, I saw it with black people both times.
okay. I was like,
I don't know if you saw the weekend numbers, but y'all showed up. But anyway,
because there's this like strain of like white asshole. It's like you gotta go to the
that's-
fucking
yeah,
right,
black
really
bullshit.
theater.
See, like, that would make it a bad movie.
Yeah,
like, if
it's
you
like-
need to see it with black people, what would be the point of a crowd? Please, whatever. I liked
fair.
it. And the first time, I mean, the sound was kind of fucked up and my picture was sort of darkened. And then the second time I saw it, it was fantastic. Like, so, and it really.
No, please don't let me interrupt you. Just pouring some delicious Fresca.
Sprite, our new sponsor.
No, I had the same thing though. The screening that I saw it at, they had about an eighth, like 1/8% of that motion blur plus thing
Oh,
that
Christ.
TVs have.
No.
And so all the nighttime scenes had a little bit of like a weird refresh rate thing going on. And I was like, it was destroying the movie for me, the first half of it. And then eventually I was like in it and I stopped thinking about it. But that stuff messes me up. I don't understand that. We talk about this all the time where it's like, you're literally like, you don't have to make the movie.
Yeah, you're a theater.
You just take the thing and then you put it
fucking
up.
push the button. You
hit play.
Stupid fucking Neanderthal. Where did you see it?
I saw it at the Grove.
Oh, cool.
'cause
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I
Pacific.
have Movie Pass. It's my closest Movie Pass.
Whoa,
Same.
whoa. Pacific takes
Yeah,
Movie
dude.
Pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Grove. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I need to get over there.
Yeah, dude.
Poppy. But yeah, I don't know why
How
I
did
said
you know
that.
my childhood nickname?
That was your child. I thought that was like a me and you thing. I'm never.
Yeah, Poppy Chulo. So like, I fucking yeah, no, it was. I don't know, man. Like, I guess. Well, I'll say this. I guess when like the second he jumped out of the Black Panther, like in the suit, jumped out of the plane and threw the balls, I was like, oh no, this is just another Marvel movie.
Yeah.
That's fair, sure.
that's the point, because every one of those Marvel movies, like not even like is formulaic. That's true, but like that scene
They all fall-
specifically,
they all at
the
some
whole
point.
jumping out of the
Yeah.
fucking like airplane with the arms crossed, like
Yeah.
every one of them does it, and I'm like,
I'm so glad
oh
you
my
brought
God.
that up, because that's the scene that I know. So this movie is incredibly long, in my opinion, and
Yeah, I'll give you that.
it needs to be trimmed out a little bit. And that scene in particular is one that sticks out to me as like the contractually obligated, gotta see him kicking ass early on scene,
Mm-hmm.
because I would cut that entire thing because it just exists to show Black Panther do cool shit.
No, but then he hooks up with the undercover girl is there, and then that's when they reconnect, and then they go back to Wakanda, and he tells her.
Right, but you could do
his
that
dad
much more
died.
economically.
Yeah, but why not have him just drop out of the sky and slash up some tires?
I just wasn't impressed by that scene. Like, I just wasn't impressed by the action in that
That's
scene.
fair.
It's just,
I'm excited though for it because like now you pointed out that they keep doing that. I'm excited for one of them that's gonna come as a surprise. They just did it in Thor. They did it in. You could argue Spider-Man sort of had
Sure.
it. He falls out of the plane. There's a plane. Captain America's done it like every movie.
every single one.
well, I think the Hulk joke is that joke.
Right,
where
is
he-
him landing, but I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for it to be a surprise that we don't know it's about to happen to one of them, and he's just like, yeah, I mean, I guess if we really want to beat that, he's the Webs one, right? No, that's the small guy.
No, that's Weight Man. You just dropped Weight Man.
That's the dies one falls guy.
And then another thing is that the action in this I wasn't super impressed with in execution. However, conceptually, this was my favorite Marvel fights movie because I love the device of you pick up the energy as it hits your suit and then you have to let it out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And that lends itself to, there's so many interesting fights you can write with that dynamic.
Yeah, they didn't take advantage of that nearly as much as
You're
they
right.
should have.
Not as much as they should have, but I
Right.
think when they did, specifically like with the last fight against Killmonger, when you're seeing the gold and the purple like fields pop off, upon second viewing, going, I'm like, this is really cool and intelligent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that they need to keep track of when they're just choreographing this fight of like how much energy have they built up, because they're clearly tracking all that.
I like that they didn't make us sit through too much of the last fight, because I feel like, okay, every Marvel movie ends with that big last fight with all the colors, and I'm like,
sure.
This one was more just like two men. Like they had the battlefield, the war, obviously at the end, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I feel like it was mostly just, it was kind of a short end battle, because Michael B. Jordan gets stabbed pretty quickly, I feel like.
Well, for like the final leg of it, but I guess you could argue that like the whole
when
thing.
they fall into the thing.
True.
When they were falling and punching each other, it lasted for like a beat or two more than I thought it was going to, and those couple beats extra made me vocalize my excitement that they were still falling.
Right.
I didn't mean to, but I was sitting there watching it, and it kept going, and I went, ooh! I was so excited. I like those things, man. Like, and this had the fights all like hit hard in my opinion, and as annoying as it was in the beginning, like the motion thing that was going on with my screen. But like, I felt like every time someone hit someone, it was like hard, and I like Winter Soldier was good with that too, where I felt like every time they were punching each other, I was like feeling it. It felt like everything had.
That's my favorite Marvel movie,
yeah,
Winter Soldier.
I think that one's still like, I think this is up there in my top ones for sure. But I think it's still like Iron Man. The first Iron Man is still like a pretty
Really?
good
I don't
movie.
like any of the Iron Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're my favorites. People usually don't agree with, but if I had to rank them, I'd say like probably Captain America, Winter Soldier first.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight you on that.
Thor: Dark World second. Yeah, no one likes that, buddy. No one likes that.
Jesus,
holy shit!
And then probably the first Avengers third.
It's like top 3 drinks. Okay, Coca-Cola, water.
Not even
Vinegar.
water. It's like Coca-Cola and whatever the worst version of Dr. Pepper is. Like, not even.
People don't like
Mr.
Thor: Dark
Sunder.
World, but it had everything. Like the laughs were solid for me. Fucking the action was really good. I like Thor. Also, here's another thing. Everyone was talking about how beautiful Wakanda is. The Thor home world, way more fleshed out, way better looking, and Wakanda was like not that awesome to me.
Sure.
Like,
I thought it was so cool.
It wasn't that. It was such a letdown to me.
I see what you mean, but I think I have definitely said it within my mindset of like, these are humans. Like the Asgardian shit being impressive. I mean,
No, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I'm having trouble separating is it cool in execution versus is it cool in concept, because I'm just so fully bought into the Marvel universe that when I see Wakanda, I'm like, humans are capable of so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm just so hyped within universe about this even existing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought all that, like, because this was one of the first ones in a while. I mean, honestly, Marvel's in an interesting position where they're teed up to do stuff that just nobody else is even teed up to even play around with right now. So I feel like with this, I was getting this because it felt like a new, like it's still in the Marvel universe and everything, but I felt like I was having to be taught a bunch of new rules and a bunch of new technologies and the powers all worked differently than any of the powers we've kind of seen before. Like, yes, it's all like you drink a thing and then you're, strong. But the fact that like when you do that, it becomes this spiritual thing, and they like in the story of the movie are able to speak to the dead.
Yeah,
it's
subjective awesome. Confirmation of metaphysics in the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
like there is some kind of afterlife.
They do it, and it's real.
I mean,
like,
I'll give this movie this, like, all the dad stuff I was so into. I was like,
man.
oh, fathers? I just love that. I can't, like, dude, my ex-girlfriend broke me down so flawlessly. I tweeted it or whatever, but she's like, the formula for like a good movie, for like all of my favorite movies are father plus son. What did she write? It was father plus son plus hardship plus morally bad decision plus beautiful cinematography equals my favorite movie.
So, the Pursuit of Happiness is your favorite movie.
No, I was like, there'll be blood, but like, fucking.
So Ghost Dad is your favorite movie.
Yes, Ghost Dad, but mostly because of the star. I'm a big fan of his. But yeah. So like
Also
any
Leonard
movie with
Parsons.
a dad talking to his son, if they're dead, I'm in.
My thing is hugs. I think, have we said this on Beef before? My big one is hugs with people who didn't in the beginning of the movie want a hug, but at the end do. that will forever and ever. It makes me cry every single time. Like, because you can apply that to so many different.
Are you a closed off person?
No, not even a little. And I think maybe that's why. I think because I like am very much. I want to hug and comfort people immediately. So then when there's, I want to hug everybody. Tell me something sad, and I'm gonna hug you right now. But when it's like they have the resistance and they need to be shown that they like need that and that it will make them feel better and they're like allowing themselves to be vulnerable, it'll get me forever and ever and ever and ever.
Sure.
So my biggest beef with Black Panther, no hug. Not even one. Not one hug in this movie.
There's a hug. They hug.
No, there are hugs, but there's no begrudging hugs.
No, Tim, they were.
That's what he needs.
He needs his dad.
He needs a little resistance in the beginning,
exactly.
and then they come around.
All right, well now it's scary the way you said it. It's not what I was up to. Wait, can I walk this back?
He likes it when they fight a bit.
I like when someone doesn't want to hug,
them, but
you hug them even though they don't want it. Fuck.
I'm going to hug you.
I'll say this, man. Like, no one agrees with me on all of my opinions about this movie are wrong. I'll just say that. Like, I've been fucking. I left a comment on like another comics like page, and I was like, Black Panther sucked, and everyone, and he came back and said like, you suck, and it got like 40 likes. I'm like, all right, well, fuck everybody.
We were chatting about
a good back and forth.
We were chatting about this earlier though, and it's like it is like a Marvel movie. I think it's a cut above. I think it's a pretty good Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it is a Marvel movie. But like that in and of itself could be the value where it's for the first time ever. Here's representation in a Marvel movie, like where he's the main dude and also the bad dude and also like everyone else in the movie. And I definitely like from that perspective, I totally see it, but like I don't think that this is the most politically like important movie. Like people have given this a lot of stock, like a lot of stock of like, the in the battlefield of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Pussy.
Battlefield of pussy. Black Panther reigns supreme.
Dude, that's my fucking
Praise
favorite
boss.
Battlefield game, by the way. The best one. It goes pussy, 1942, Vietnam. That's the ranking.
Yeah, no saying.
Battlefield pussy.
No, but I know what you're saying. I mean,
nobody's fighting.
There's like 40 people on the map. It's
Press
crazy.
B to cower.
My perspective, I always feel like I will never, when people are having like an overwhelmingly, like when it's pretty like how do I say it? Like you can't remove that it's positive. Like the reaction to it is a positive thing, and
absolutely.
that what people are excited about is a positive thing. So it's like when that's happening, as much as like we've talked about it every time they say what they think is going to win Best Picture, you always feel like when La La Land came out, everybody had this like, okay, but is it that good, man?
Yes,
and so it's like, and I always like feel bad about the movie in these situations where I'm like,
absolutely,
because he knew what he was making. He knew the movie he was making, and yes, it was loaded with these things that he wanted to address. And I think who just told us the other day that the next movie he wanted to make before he was going to do Black Panther was going to be about an African king.
Oh,
he like wanted to make and then this thing came along, and he was like, okay,
awesome.
this is my avenue now, and he still made a really
I'm wondering
fun.
How many like themes did like if they're one in the same project? Maybe.
No. I don't know. I don't think they're one in the same. I just mean more that it's like this. It came from an organic place of him. Like I think when this opportunity came up, it was like, oh no, I can use this as. And yes, it is still a Marvel movie. And that's like the weird, inescapable thing. But it also doesn't have to be a negative thing where they have. Of course, there's conventions now. This is the what? Is it the 18th, the 19th, or something? We're playing by a certain amount of rules. But that's also why, and for better or worse, and this we've talked about how these movies get away with stuff sometimes because now you have 17 movies to compare them to. So when they do something a little different, they've like. It's like when you promise something to someone that's not a big promise for you, you know that you're going to be able to do that. And then when you do like a little more than that, they're like, wow, you're so nice that you did a little more than that very simple thing you promised me you were going to do.
Under promise, over deliver. And
exactly.
And vice versa.
And so, and for better or worse, but I also, again, I say all that like, yes, I can frame that in a way that feels then cheap. And I am always a proponent of ask for better, ask for stronger stories and better everything, but I also see like there's maybe I'm having like a reality of I know what this was set up to be, and the fact that it has been received in this much grander way. It's like, I mean, sick, dude. Right on. There's worse movies for that to have happened to.
I guess I love all that. I love the Afrocentrism. I love the black representation. I love I just like, it's cool. Just something that black is being talked about this much, and it's not like a dead kid. That's cool, But fucking also like, I hate that I have to. Like, I'm just seeing like the Disney and Marvel guys that are just
man.
I see what you
all
mean.
white, just like this outrage, baby. Oh,
Yes, come on
boy.
out. We're in
Like,
solidarity.
dude, fucking
I see what you mean.
There's no black people at the very top that are.
When are
That being said, Coogler's getting fucking paid though. Like
Coogler's getting paid.
The largely the black presence of the production staff is going to get fucking paid, but at the same time,
and it's progressive. But it's just like I don't want to
Feige's
have to
also
give
getting
money
paid.
to Disney
Bob
to
Iger's getting
fucking support
paid.
black people.
Yeah,
You know?
I
Like,
do.
I know what
Exactly.
you mean. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
fair.
And it is like in a lot of ways it's kind of gross how Disney has co-opted, like Black Lives Matter and just social justice in general to promote their fucking Marvel movie.
Yeah.
At the same time, it doesn't take away from the joy that people feel of seeing representation, but like, where's the money going?
Well, okay. Oh,
no,
sorry,
go ahead.
on.
No, go ahead. I talked a whole bunch.
Well, no, okay. I'm just saying, like, I was saying earlier to someone, like, growing up, it did actually, like, I think literally, like, psychologically affect me not seeing people that look like me in major stories.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I just never felt like a main character or anything. So, like I do think this is like a monumental thing for like a lot of like young black kids. Cool. So I'm trying to maintain that perspective. But like the adults that are like, it's like just.
Let's take it easy.
It's a movie.
Showing up in dashikis, taking pictures with the posters.
I wanted white people to start wearing dashikis. Yeah. That would be the fucking best thing in the world, dude.
No, just look at, dude. I got into Italian SoundCloud rap recently. All just white dudes, dreadlocks, and dashikis. It's embarrassing.
Oh my
It's
god,
fucking
that sounds
embarrassing.
Well, that's what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say, you just set me up.
Yeah, holy shit.
So I was really thinking about this
Italian.
movie.
What are their names? Give me some. Throw some names.
Oh fuck! I'll send you the links. I don't speak. Bullshit Italian.
First thing I thought
very
was Pavarotti. I don't know why. That's not even like rap. That's a person.
Yeah, Pavarotti.
Pagliacci.
Pavarizzi.
But anyway, so
I
I was thinking about this
Pagliacci.
movie. I was thinking about this story and how it does address blackness and there's no other way it could have happened. Like this is so when you immediately put forth the concept of like, okay, this is Wakanda. It's this technologically super advanced city in Africa. Your first question is, great, why didn't they do anything about slavery? That's the first place that your brain would go to. So it's like, okay, I am through the moon. Like there's no other way. If by virtue of this movie getting made, slavery was going to be addressed and like blackness was going to be addressed. And,
I see what you're getting
I
at.
think
Okay,
that's just fucking awesome. Like the way that it panned out and the fact that this movie happens means that Marvel took a chance on blackness. There was no other way that it would have gone.
I don't know if they took a chance though. Like,
well, look, what I'm saying.
I mean, they
took a chance.
They took
but
a chance in that. Yeah, I guess it could have done less than expected, but it was gonna be a hit.
Right. Well, what I mean is just by virtue of doing a Black Panther movie, these are themes that they knew that they would address, and they went forward with it anyway. Like
For sure.
But I
like,
see what you're
not
saying
giving a
because it's
fuck
like
if-
it's not like it wasn't a fortuity. Like they didn't look at it and go like,
no,
oh,
it's not
man.
like I don't
We're
need chances
gonna-
in a gamble, but like
No, but then I also like, to me, there's part of me though that would have to like, just for the betterment of fucking entertainment and humankind, I feel like I just need to be like, I guess lucky for us that this was the moment where that lined up that way, where they were like, ooh, we see dollar signs, and also, ooh, everybody was kind of hungry for that and for something different. And then that was like, because you're right, that was how else was that gonna happen? It had to be, and also even with Marvel specifically, you could I could extrapolate even to like, with the Wonder Woman thing where it was like, see, look, a female superhero, like people are gonna show up, it's gonna make all this money.
Yeah.
But and this isn't to the detriment of those movies. I'm saying this is like why they're perfect for the time they came up in. Marvel has established they're basically, like we've said, there's 18 movies. They're franchise already. The next one they do is still the sequel to the biggest movie franchise in history right now. So they're like, well, we have basically all the power in the world right now to whatever it is that we make is gonna do pretty well.
Absolutely.
Or at the very least, we're going to have cemented it in our grand story just by just because we made it, we did it. So now it's a thing. I don't know. I feel like that was like, how else was that when were we gonna get this big of a movie like that?
Well,
do you know
so-
what I mean?
True.
And I want to touch on a point there where does it make it bad that this was made for a financial reason? Like the fact that they saw that, hey, people are hungry for this right now, and they want that this kind of movie, this kind of message. Is it bad to take it to make it so to take advantage of that sentiment to make money?
Well, it could have been way worse.
Sure.
Like,
yes,
they could have got a white director. They could have fucking.
It's true.
Like, it could have been way fucking worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, like they were devious enough to cover all their tracks.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna give it to them in like a. Like,
yeah,
this was, you really did good. It's like,
Thanks, Marvel.
you knew where
Right.
the flaws would be and you covered your tracks.
Right, yeah.
So like, good on you for that. But
it also feels like the fact of the matter is, if they didn't think it was gonna crush or at least be
Right.
like successful, they probably wouldn't have made a Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
Like they've ignored. They have plenty of other dudes and
I'll tell you
heroes
what,
who they haven't paid attention to.
super boring
yet.
character. Not interesting in
Dude,
one bit to me.
I do not give a fuck about what is T'Challa.
A rich
He's
kid that grew up
he's
to
just
beat up a poor
good.
kid?
He's
Great.
like
What a great movie.
Cool
Oh,
dude.
God.
Like, that's
I know
the whole
who you
movie.
are.
A
Get out
rich
of here.
kid
Why? Why?
who
Tell
grew
me to get
up
out.
Pampered,
I
beats the
cheered.
shit out of some poor hood kid from Oakland who grew up without a father after his father killed his father.
Yep.
Like, what?
I mean,
I'm rooting for this guy?
I get that Eric he's just like, objectively, he's cruel, and maybe he's lying. Like maybe he's not being totally honest about like how straightforward his convictions are, because we've shown that he can, like, he'll betray people. Like he has no real loyalty to anything. Like he's just kind of like, he's hatred lost. But I do get what you're saying of like, I don't think that they earned. I didn't believe that T'Challa also suffered.
Yeah, no.
I didn't really get that taste of like, you don't even understand what Eric went through. Like you don't
Not
quite
in
get
the
it.
slightest. His father died, but they kind of got to meet again in heaven or whatever, and then he like became the king. Like nothing about his story like really was like you went through it, man. You know, like
I would say more though that it's where he ends up in the end of it though.
Right.
Like as far as like, because I also don't think that the movie was avoiding that he was pampered, that he was, you know, he
It's
was
true.
able to live
Y'all sitting
without
pretty, like, he
knowing about
addresses it.
the shit that is like, he was also oblivious to this terrible thing that his dad had done.
Right.
So like he was able to live not knowing and be just, yeah, I'm the Black
That's
Panther.
true.
I
It is-
kick
that is,
ass.
like, a
I'm
part of the
you
arc,
know,
yeah.
I'm now the king and blah blah blah. But like, then I feel like where he ends up, and the whole movie, like they weren't avoiding that. I feel like thematically the whole thing was up to like, just because we've kind of done this way and we've been living under a certain rhythm doesn't mean that doesn't have to change. And
Right.
like it felt like the whole movie was about them realizing like, oh, we don't got to just keep being blind and like closed off from.
Sure.
But I guess another factor for me is like, to your earlier point, like they're all like, yeah, we gotta stay, isolated from the rest of the world. They can't have this secret medal we have, but like they have the means to secretly like they have spies.
right,
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
so many covert ways they could have affected change in the world. I'm getting politically mad at Wakanda right now. This fictional country should have done something.
That's what happens.
And I guess
after.
that's kind of the question, the question that they're asking you not to ask, because he does address it several times where I can't speak for previous kings, but what I can say is this: like that's T'Challa's whole thing of I think it's a kind of powerful moment when he faces all of the past kings of Wakanda and says, "You were all wrong.
I think
you
that
were
could have been a more
all
powerful
wrong.
moment.
You're right. It could have been much
Like,
more
if
powerful.
More of them said anything.
Exactly.
but-
And this is my problem with, I think Coogler as a filmmaker, like conceptually and high level, I love what he's going for. And I totally like see it and I understand it. But I think in nuance and in execution, it's kind of missing just like a little something to give it that final push. Because I felt the same way about Creed. It's missing just like a little bit of something. And I felt very, very similarly with Black Panther.
well, Drago's coming, or not Drago, fucking
No, yeah.
Creed 2, but I don't know if they're
It's-
calling it Drago, but it's Drago's son.
Aw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
little cyborg Drago.
Ivan or whatever. But
That was my
we should
cyborg
do
impression.
Creed
Beat.
versus Karate Kid, where it's
he just beats the fuck out of
It's
this
like
guy.
that's not what, really wouldn't work, I don't think. Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan just slays Jaden. Just fucking decks him.
That's canon. Using that one.
I'd watch that.
It says that you assume Jaden and not Ralph Macchio. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, no.
just jump for.
No, the Karate Kid's
That's
black,
the
dude.
true
Hey, my
Karate
Karate
Kid.
Kid's black, dude. I don't know about you.
I
but-
like
Don't even
the
get me
Karate
started
Kid
on
remake.
Annie.
Oh shit! Oh, fuck.
I did like that one with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, it was
and-
good.
I didn't see it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it with my little brother.
Yo, let me talk about Wakanda real quick.
Yeah, let's
because
talk about Wakanda.
this is the most Marvel-ass Marvel movie that's ever been made. Like, true to comics Marvel movie. You pick up a Black Panther book, that shit is on screen. And, like, the fact that they went so balls deep into this Afrofuturism look, like, it's the most look that Marvel has ever done. Aside from maybe, like, Thor, it's just so...
Sure.
Iconic isn't quite the right word, but I guess it is, like, iconic now.
Yeah.
Like, it's become a thing. It's just
very
so
its
unique
own
and it's
thi-
its
yeah,
own
yeah.
thing, and it's like a combination of like a billion different African cultures and like a bunch of different shit.
I'll say this: fucking, they should have went all African cast. Like Forrest Whitaker and Angela Bassett were just distractions.
Sure.
They were
little-
just
a little
distractions
bit.
doing African voice.
A little bit.
And like, I'm just seeing Forrest Whitaker do Africa voice. I'm like, no, just get an African.
Right.
You didn't need to like. I get that you need names, I guess, but
Sure, and a movie about like fundamental differences between Africans and African Americans, which is sort of like a combination. You'd think that there would be a little something to say about them, just
Yeah.
not casting them as the same thing. But I do see what you mean.
He has accidentally, Forrest Whitaker has his voice now across the board. I only hear him as the dude in Rogue One.
Yes.
Where
he goes, Saw Gerrera.
Nice. Oh yeah, with the wheezing.
He's like the Boogaloo or whatever that thing was called. Is it the Borg? What is it? The thing that like
remember
the
it.
giant slug that tells you the truth or whatever. You know,
And
that,
then it's supposed to leave you insane, but the guy was fine.
but then he figures it out
Just
eventually.
somehow.
They're just
Gay.
like, you're the pilot. And he goes, all right, shit.
Yeah, that's the words. You just, oh, my job. That's right. I am
I
that.
forgot. Yeah, cool. And I'm glad we figured that out.
Oh gosh.
Forrest Whitaker,
As soon as he started talking in this one too, I just and it's all accidental that I think his character in Rogue One is funny, but he was so over the top in that movie that as soon as he started talking in Black Panther 2, I was like, oh shit.
and he's over the top of this one.
I need to watch him in
Like,
more stuff because now he's.
You know what? I think Lawrence
African voice is never not over the top, dude. It's always over the fucking top. And he's just walking out there like, T'Challa, your father. And I'm like,
I
just,
know.
dude, tone it down. It's like,
I
does
know.
not.
there is something.
And
like-
Angela Bassett is not good. It's bad.
That one stuck out in
Hers
a
is
big
like
way.
bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's tough. There's the supporting cast is interesting because I feel like a lot of that is dropped. Like their story arcs are kind of weak too. Like there's the thing with Okoye and Wakabi, like their
That
love
thing?
story.
That was never.
Wait, so it's introduced where she says, "Oh, you're my love."
Goodbye, love. And then that's the, yeah.
And
Yeah.
now they're fighting, and then at the end, you would raise your spear to me. It's like
don't
you guys,
even
guys,
kiss.
we've been fighting for 10 minutes.
Dude, there's
She's
no
raised
hug.
the
Not even
spear.
not even a
hug.
fight off hug.
Yes, then there is no hug.
hug.
There is no kiss, and it's like, what is this relationship? What like? And I had somebody on Twitter say to me, "You're gonna judge the movie on these tertiary characters." I'm like, well, if
gonna
the
judge-
movie is like every arc should be competent and close
Right, yeah.
in a way that makes sense. Like, don't introduce these characters and give them an arc if you're not gonna conclude it in a way
this
that
is-
matters.
These are also the things about every movie forever and ever that frighten me. They scare me as like someone trying to make movies. This stuff worries me because there is that weird thing of like, yeah, everything needs to line up and make sense and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes like there, I would say there are tracked. It maybe wasn't like strong. Like I don't know if I felt something when they made up at the end necessarily, but like
I just feel like there has to be a deleted scene where they're like,
yeah, honestly,
there's
maybe
more.
there was the only indication they were a couple was her saying, "All right, goodbye, love," and then that
Yeah.
was it. Like I'm trying to think of another.
I guess I
And
just
also,
saw that
he doesn't have many character moments of like I wanted to
barely
see
talks
more.
to her.
I wanted to see, well, besides just talking to her, like I wanted to see more of him falling to Killmonger because he just kind of seems like he just as soon as T'Challa doesn't come back with Claw, he's like, fuck this guy, fuck my friend that
I
I've
kinda-
known
see, no,
forever.
but wait,
I
there was
got
this-
that one because he's been waiting so long.
yeah, and
because he did
and
say
you can kind
like,
of put it, you can put it together,
Yeah.
right? But I didn't.
That's what I mean by
see
it, like tracks. Like you
Right,
follow the story logic of like, okay, yes, he's mad about that. Okay, yes, they're together, but now but then they're back. Okay, sure. And I think maybe I just like for me that stuff also blended more into because they weren't at the forefront, and I don't think the movie was demanding you to like care too much. I don't think. So it was like I don't know. Those are the things that I just also
Sure.
in the way that I absorb shit. I tend to just be like, oh, okay, they made up. Okay, can they punch in the cave again? Because that was cool when they were near the train. I want to see because they were punching. You need to remember
that it's the Marvel movie.
Right, the train though was cool.
Dude, Claw, I gotta say, I hate that in this very black movie, my favorite fucking character is Andy. Andy Serkis.
He's just magnetic.
Is the most entertaining person in this movie. Like, undoubtedly, in my opinion.
He's also getting these are those things too of like, and this is because this is the position I'm taking tonight, apparently. I will say that even to like,
knees down, ass up.
Yeah, spread my butt a little bit. And I mean, go to town.
Just like waddling into town like that. Like
that's how I go.
Can I get a drink?
That's how I get stuff. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm not gonna go away until you give me a soda.
Face down Doms here, guys.
Is the soda ready?
Good. Old FDD.
We gave you 2.
Blowing through.
We gave you 2 for today and tomorrow. Don't come back tomorrow.
What is this bit? What were you?
I don't know. My butt was open. We're going for it. Even with Andy Serkis, it's funny though because like even those characters, and it's not. I'm going to measure what I'm going to say because it's not to take away that what he's giving is a fucking good performance. But there is that like he's the character that's a fun character. Like in the design of the movie, he was who he fills in the story is like the fun zany bad guy thing, and which is always like, and when it's bad and it makes you want to like die when someone's really doing that poorly.
Right.
But like when
I guess
he's fun to watch.
Like,
but I'm not to take away though what he's doing because he's
down to his
fucking
lines. He was just a much more, and I know that's his role, but even the way he was just saying things was way more captivating.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And maybe it's just because like I'm a comic and like he was the funniest, but also like there were like two genuine fucking laughs in this movie from Andy Serkis. But probably the biggest ones, like right in the beginning when he like lets the guy go and like says, I won't kill you, don't worry about it. That, like, I laughed hard. And then
that was good.
I forgot what the second one was. Oh, the SoundCloud link thing. That made me,
dude,
that killed me.
I couldn't believe, that was like one of those jokes where I thought they were gonna like, they were gonna skirt around the joke, and then they went straight down
for it. And I was like, oh, that's so good.
Because of course this douchebag would have us. Like, of course he would.
Yeah, I like that.
I think he's such a scary psycho, but he's also a douche.
He's like a coke party dickhead. Like when he went to the Korean casino.
That will also murder you. That's like also a psychopath.
Like exactly. Like that. He was honestly the most believable character. I guess because he's like that's like a trope already, like a character type already, like a coked out like crazy Jack Sparrow-ish crime lord or whatever. But like. Fucking, I know he's good, man. I'm into it. I love Andy Serkis.
I even liked the fact that you even for a glimmer, I can't quite remember. Maybe it's the interrogation scene, but there's a point where he says something and it's there's like so much hatred you can feel for Wakanda just for like and he almost, and then you can tell then that was why him and Eric had like ended up working with each other because you can feel him be like they were sitting on. I took all of it. Really? You think I took all of their vibranium? You have no idea that
is a great one. And then he also has the you don't want to work with him. I'm much more your speed. Just like the nice like under the table racism where it's like,
I love that he was racist too.
Remember that we're both white?
Oh god, it made me so happy when he was just like you savages or whatever. Oh man,
dude.
The movie needed a good one of those, right? Like you need a racist white guy.
I would have let him have I would have let him have an N-word. I would have let him have a nigger. Like that, he needed one, man. He need that. If this was a hard R movie, he could have had a hard R N. Like he should have gone for it.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. That's now like the rated R for the N-word.
For the hard R. Yeah, right.
These are the new MPAA.
It was funny though too. Like when Martin Freeman shows up, when his character shows up, I was like, there was part of me though that was like, really hope that he's not like racist in this.
Sure.
Because I get what I see him, he's teed up for it, man.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's the cocky CIA guy. He's going to doubt their ability. Yeah. And then like one of the first things he says, it was almost like the movie itself was like, relax, every white guy in the audience, where it's fine. And he was like, listen, I like you a lot. And I really do. I really like you a lot. Like I really like you. I think you're really cool, and the Black Panther's awesome. And
I was waiting for like like a "you people" joke or something, or so. I'm very glad that he wasn't racist, but I'm also glad they didn't take the other route with it, where it's just like the little white whipping boy, where it's that they're just constantly
he had a purpose.
like cucking him.
It was
It happens
I
once or
do
twice,
feel-
but when it does, it like makes sense. Like it's the M'Baku thing, and
I
the
liked though
Okoye
that
thing.
they gave him
That was
the.
great. That M'Baku thing.
Where they're just
that's another fucking
barking
hard
at
laugh,
him.
dude.
He's-
Barking at white dude.
Oh my god! Yeah, that was because it was again. It was
He's
the thing where
great.
you
That
you
character-
thought that joke wasn't going to go longer than like the first time, and then they just completely overwhelm,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god!
Yeah. I will say some of the jokes were very like white writer, like this. You
sure.
wrote this for black people, like that. What are those? Come on, like
Yeah.
what do you? That was
That joke-
Get that out of
that
there.
threw
That
me
was
off.
distracting.
I forgot about
joke,
that.
First of all,
Was that because they were shooting this in like 2015?
that's what I'm gonna say. I'm like,
I guess.
I was
yeah,
like,
but you should have
do
taken
they
it
still
out.
say that?
No one.
first
I don't think
thought.
people said it when that like. The only person that ever sounded cool saying that was that one kid that said it, and after that, it died with him.
That was a
Yeah.
brutal joke. That joke got a theater-wide groan both times I saw it.
Oh,
So
dude.
it was a brutal joke. I wanted to talk about Winston Duke for a second. Yo,
I'm sorry.
Baku is so much
Wait.
fun.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah. The
I
actor,
didn't
the
know who that
actor's
was.
name.
Okay,
is-
yeah,
he's
because
like-
you just said two.
Winston Duke. I was like, all right, let's see.
Let's talk about Winston Duke.
Segment
Now,
they have the
in
Winston Duke
in the
segment.
16th century. Sir Winston Duke.
All right, Winston Duke time, beefheads. Here we go.
Well, for me,
Conquered
though-
Darjeeling with 15 men.
Winston Duke time for me is it's a different thing. Right? It's a
That's where I
mess.
smoke Winstons and just shit my brain
It's
out.
really upsetting. It's where I wince. I wince through a ton of Duke.
Winston Duke. Hey,
I'm sorry, Winston.
What's the bit? Sorry, Winston Duke. Yeah, dude. M'Baku is probably my favorite character
Yeah.
in the movie. I just like had he was just so much fun to watch. And
Yeah,
I,
I liked him,
I
yeah.
love a redeemable brute. I like when
Yeah, man.
you
That
get
should have
the
been your big hug, your fight off hug.
You know what?
M'Baku's
You're
the fight off hug character.
You're
is.
fucking right.
Yeah.
You are right.
M'Baku's the kind of dude that you do have to fight off hug from. Just come
Oh,
on.
no, he's-
Fucking,
crushes your spine.
Wait, it's my
I a
hug.
little bit didn't understand his role in Wakanda. So it's like,
Yeah,
I guess he's on the outskirts, still technically in the country, but he shuns technology, but he still gets advantages from the vibranium naturally. So
from
it's
from what I realize is that like they just haven't gone as far just doing some background readings, like because they're still vibranium is still a part of what it is they're all
in the
about.
ground and
enhance
shit.
the nature.
Right,
Like, the animals are different. And
I mean,
stuff,
and like
so-
clearly you look at their architecture, but like they aren't as rely on technology as like Wakanda is. So they're all about survivalism and they live up in the mountains. And I think it's cool that you needed that sort of separate entity that could avoid Killmonger, because it shows how like being super, like you need that guy on the outside.
Well, there was that was also part of that was an extension of the other theming thing of like that this was the tribe who were off and that no one talked to,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that
Like,
they
you
were
turned
like
your back on
separatists
your
or
own
whatever.
people as well,
Right.
yeah.
And then it was like, oh no, like that was him also then bridging that gap, and now we have the understand. And I like that he. Well, I mean, I know that they show up right at the end
Yeah,
of
they
the
show
fight, but I did like though when he
They
first was
snuck
like
an entire army on the field.
No,
Yeah.
you got. That's where they sneak
First
up.
army, it's like 40 people. You know what I mean? Like that whole final fight is like, this is the army of Wakanda. It's like 30 ladies with laser spears and 50 dudes with yeah.
7 rhinos. Like that's the
whole
Wakandan
thing.
army.
Black
That's
Sorry,
how
you were
fucking
saying?
technologically advanced they are.
He was Black Panther was the one who called it a civil war when they were just fighting in the parking lot of the airport.
Yeah.
He was like, "This is a war."
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a war before? Yes, in my country,
Absolutely.
15 fighting 15.
Too many.
Like a Wakanda battle.
What was it? What were we getting? Oh, Martin Freeman and all. I liked how they just gave him.
Yes,
that-
the white people.
No. I was sorry.
Back to the most important.
They gave him the thing at the end too, where they're like, "And there's a thing that needs to be flown, and you got to just do
Yep.
just."
Oh,
you,
they gave him a thing, right? Yeah.
You're up in the air doing the shooties, and then just figure that out, and we'll deal with all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That made me laugh.
I fucking what's it? Oh, I feel like Killmonger, because Killmonger and Claw are like the only parts of this movie I like really enjoy being like on screen. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's like I thought Wakanda was boring, Black Panther was boring to me. Like, yeah, none of that was interesting. Lupita was pretty good. I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
But and the Okoye, she was awesome.
Sure.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
killed. Every time she was on screen, I was loving
Yeah.
it.
She fucking throws the spear
Oh,
and
that
stops
is-
the
yeah,
car.
dude.
It's like, that's a
Yeah.
bullshit.
So fucking cool.
Yeah.
But fucking actually pretty much that whole casino chase.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
pretty
cool,
cool
too.
too.
Yeah.
I fuck with that. But fucking Killmonger, I feel like should have got a little further in his plan. I think we should have seen at least like one like hood rise up, or like someone should have got weapons so that we could see. He didn't.
I see
feel
what
like
you're
an
saying.
effective enough
Sure.
villain for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting if, like, for whatever reason, only one neighborhood.
Yeah, or something. I don't know, wherever he was setting weapons.
I will say though,
or
even
whatever.
just though, like story wise,
Neo
I was
Compton.
surprised, and I knew because I could tell,
20XX.
I could tell where we were in the movie, and then I also could tell because I'd seen him in the suit before. I was like, oh, he's gonna win this fight when he challenges him. I was like,
yeah.
right, because that's how he's gonna get powers, and right. But when you think about that as just like a movie doing a story of like that, I was impressed that they were like, yeah, no, he loses and now he's the king of Wakanda, and he like actually is, and people follow him.
no revolt, like
Right.
And it's because he's doubting himself, like at the time. You know, T'Challa is he's questioning whether he even should be fighting this guy, and you know,
Right,
like
'cause
we
he's
created
found out,
this.
yeah.
And I did like that moment. I wish it would have been a little more clear as to why he's getting his ass beat, because all of a sudden he just gets his ass beat. Like I guess in rewatch you kind of put it together that he's going through some shit right now, but they don't like remind you of that in the moment.
What's also
I don't
the
know.
thing though of like anytime you have someone, because he's had the Panther powers for like how long at this point? Like I don't even know how long he's been the Black Panther. So I feel like every time he's got that taken away, if you're fighting someone who's been training his entire life just to be a good, like a human being, good at
that's true.
fighting, like
yeah.
that makes sense to me. Why he would kind of get fucked up a little
And then
bit.
he loses the Panther powers and is thrown off of a cliff.
Yes.
And everyone panics as if he's dead, but he's not.
Right.
But he should be.
He should probably.
Like,
I like when they have him on they're pulling him on the cart, and he was like, yeah, we found him, he was just in the water.
there was no like magical. He didn't talk to his dad. There's just like,
no, we found him by the.
lives.
Oh, you
We
see
gotta
those
get-
rocks down there?
We got to get him back to the lab. Take him. He'll be dead in 2 seconds. Like, why isn't he dead now? Like,
Yeah.
is this magic
I
snow?
figured it was
What
like
is that?
vibranium
Yeah, I
snow.
thought so
That's
too.
what I gave him that because I was like, that's probably like their healing.
Yeah,
snow,
they keep
you
him in
know.
the. They
Yeah.
keep him covered, and the mountain like keeps him safe for a
yeah.
while.
Yeah.
This movie's very tight
I like
like that.
that.
Like
I
they
like
kind of
that.
do, even if it is just tracking, they do kind of slot all the pieces
There's a
together by
fucking
the
lot.
end of it.
There's just a lot.
There
dude.
is a lot.
And it was ambitious. Like even again, and I know world building is like a eye rolly thing at this point
They did
when
a
people
good
talk about
job.
like world,
I don't think
but it's
they
like.
did.
I at least like
As far-
Politically, I think they did, but I don't think
as
like
far as-
aesthetically, like Wakanda was not
Sure.
unique to me. It was like, but yeah, like you're right. Sorry.
I maybe don't think it was like as mind blowing. Like I would never like be like, wow, I've never. But it's hard where we are now in fucking movies and all of this shit. And I can again, we've talked about going on DeviantArt and finding shit that looks cooler than that's in most movies. You know what I mean? Paintings by some kid that are amazing. But it's like it's all elements we've been around.
DeviantArt is still popping. That is
Tumblr, if I was
still going to
do we want to say
DeviantArt?
Tumblr?
Oh
I just
my
use
God,
DeviantArt 'cause
that is-
usually people laugh
Yeah,
at
I
that.
don't know.
like, dude, I thought Instagram would have killed.
You know,
by
you
now.
go
I
on
gotta-
GeoCities
Yeah, you
and
know.
you find some Dragon Ball Z gifts
It's-
like you do.
It's like when you're on Neopets, and it's exactly like this.
hanging out
Oh,
on
dude, my
Yahoo.
Shoiru is dead. I gotta fucking log into the Neopets again.
No, they're all dead. Wait, did you have to feed Neopets?
Starving.
No,
Yes,
they don't
you do
die.
have to feed
Oh,
them, but they don't die.
They don't die.
They just
but there's
starve.
a Neopets graveyard in the game, so they do die-ish.
They did.
Do we want to get into like the Pokemon War about how like Lieutenant Surge's Raticate died or some shit?
Sure.
I don't remember that one.
You ever hear
Oh, the
this?
theory where he
No.
says, you know, I fought in the war. Like, what war?
Oh, yeah, I did
God.
hear that one.
He's
Yeah.
a lieutenant in what army?
In the Detective Pikachu movie they're doing, which again is why. But something that comforted me about this movie happening. So the whole movie is like they're not doing the Ash Ketchum story, and I don't know why it didn't really occur to me this way. But the movie like takes place in the Pokemon world, like
Pokemon are talking to Pokemon.
Yes,
Yeah.
like in the Pikachu talks, but as does like a Meowth here and there, and a fucking I don't know who else talked.
Wait, I didn't
That's it, I
realize
think.
that.
Oh, Mewtwo.
Sure.
Right,
Whoa.
because I saw like they
too.
had like they posted pictures of the set when they're shooting in London right now, and it was like the police station of whatever Poke City they call it, and it was like all these like wanted posters, and there's like a Machoke and a Graveler and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's
shit.
like it's just Pokemon world, but the story we're gonna go to is this Pikachu detective
Interesting.
voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Really cool.
I thought it was Justin Timberlake or something.
It's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I was like,
Who cares?
When he comes down to it, yeah,
I thought it was Chris Pratt. Like,
they're all the same
not
guy.
Chris Pine?
yeah.
Have you not? You know what? They're all the same
Not
dude.
Chris Hemsworth?
I read that in Entertainment Weekly. It's all the same guy.
I bet if you did like a face blend,
I think
it would
someone
be
did
remarkably
do
similar.
that,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
I think I did. see
You
something
made me
like
laugh in one of your when they announced at this point it must have been like they said Paul Rudd was going to be in the Marvel universe or something, and you did this fast cut thing across all of the white dude faces in Marvel, or you had them all next to each other in one of your videos, and I was like, that's hilarious because they not only like it's just a lot of white faces, but they all a little bit have the same
Yeah.
thing about their faces.
That's true. It's like a very like they have the strong jaw, high cheekbones, like they
the
all
black
they
hair,
all
that.
like-
Everyone, they all have goofy eyes. I feel like
yeah, they got
like,
endearing eyes.
every leading man now has to be like
A little fucked up looking.
a little goofy.
It's true. You can't look like a male model. You
Yeah.
need to have like silly eyes.
Like, yeah. You got to be a little goofy because just straight hot's not hot anymore.
That's true.
You know?
Welcome to Jurassic Park. Just fucking crossed eyes. I'll think you dinos.
Got goofy.
I just look like the judge from Roger Rabbit, like all the time. And that
Oh, fuck, dude. That's funny as shit.
All right, Pokemon.
Oh, Christ.
Black Panther.
What's-
Persian.
okay, Schwifty.
What are the other things I want to say about it that I enjoyed? I don't know. I just was in it, man, and it was again. I think I started to say when
You were in it?
Yeah, I was in it. Did you not see me?
Oh yeah. I liked when you
He's
when you
Black Panther,
I
dude.
liked
Yeah. Did you not recognize me?
with the helmet
People were
on.
pissed. They were like, he's
Yeah.
brown.
They didn't think I was
Not
gonna,
even black.
They didn't even think I was gonna pull it off, and I somehow the movie magic ILM. You know.
Paul Rubens is the Black Panther.
Hi, Sharon. Oh.
Man, that's
any new
interesting.
gadgets for me
See?
today?
Claw!
You know what's crazy? They definitely can do some wild shit with vibranium that they're not showing. It's like the same with the
Yeah.
Pokemon. People are all
Dude,
fucking
their
Pokemon,
dildos
but like
out the fuck. That's why they call it vibranium. They don't have to do anything. It's just
sand
not good joke.
hologram things
cool
are cool
as
as
shit. Yes.
And him when they're going after the guys in the trucks or whatever, and he picks up the
Oh,
one truck
yeah,
and
that
puts it back.
Takes
was
takes the
fucking dope.
roof off.
Yeah, he
sees
takes
her
the roof off
inside.
to see the people inside.
So cool.
That's the coolest shit in the world. And I love there's a line in I think it's in Age of Ultron where Claw says like, isn't that like Americans they find the most versatile substance in the universe and they put it in a frisbee or whatever, or they put it in a shield. It's like isn't that classic? I love that. I love the idea that they're because this movie doesn't back away from showing you like Nat does fucking everything, dude.
Yeah, it
Like-
just he pops it in his fucking spine wound, and he's like, he'll sleep for a while. Like it's a sedative and a painkiller and a like stabilizer for spines.
I'm a little hungry. What do you got here? Is this fucking sand?
It's like it's what it actually does. What like hippies tell you supplements do. It's like
Yes.
just take this ginkgo biloba. You'll be fine. It takes care of depression and
Can we talk about the fact that the heart-shaped herb is just named the heart-shaped herb? though?
the
Is
heart-shaped
that?
herb.
Oh, really?
They're like, what should we name this one? I think, well, it's a ever-changing substance. How about vibranium? All right, what about this one over here? The one that you drink and turns you into the Panther guy. What's it look like?
Heart shaped? Yeah,
Heart-shaped herb. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Dude, the heart-shaped herb was just very strange. I love the part where they find him in the snow, and then all of a sudden Angela Bassett has a mortar and pestle in her hand, and she's just like created the purple juice and
one that
poured it in
looks
his-
one that looks like they bought it at Cracker or Crate and Barrel.
like it
Like, it's
just came out. Yes,
yeah.
Cracker
we
Barrel.
were struggling to leave our country for fear of being murdered, and you brought this mortar and pestle with you.
that popped over
Where
to the
did you even
Grove
have that?
real quick.
I'm just like someone said this earlier, but it's like you could have had another black just I know it's like a royalty thing. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it only works with royal blood. So I'll buy that.
Right.
Because
Sure,
they
right.
were both of royal blood.
Well, I think what they said was that they need to be able to rally an army. It couldn't just be anybody. Well,
Well-
that's why I said it could be Okoye, because she's already the general. But
Yeah, but they have to do the whole death passage thing before
Right.
they become Black Panther and get powers. So I guess maybe that's where it stops if you drink the juice. So like if you're like a regular dude in Wakanda and you drink the juice and you try to do the sand thing, like
just
you're
a regular
you're
dude
gonna
in
go to another
Wakanda.
place and like you won't see like the dead kings, or maybe you'll see your dead dad, but you won't get any powers. I don't know how it works.
You see the dead Wakanda kings. They're like, Oh.
Yeah, they're just like, who
the fuck are you?
Yeah, they don't turn into humans; they just stay panthers.
Like what the?
I mean, it shows you it could go
place
back.
is weird.
It does go back to a memory. So like, what if you just had a good relationship with your dad? You're just like at a Denny's when you're 8, just like just reliving like a very positive breakfast you had.
Well, dude, I'll tell you this: I simultaneously loved and wish they did more with Killmonger's dad combo.
Oh yeah,
Because A, I love the actor that plays his dad.
Yeah, man.
That guy
K.
fucking
Brown.
rules.
Yeah.
And B, like, I feel like there's a little more potential there, but I think what they did was pretty. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I wanted him to see his dad at the end when he's dying. I wanted to see them be
Interesting,
because
yeah.
there is
No,
that
because I feel like I didn't want that because I think I wanted his dad to be like ashamed of what he'd become.
Sure.
And which I think is
dad
what
drags
makes
him
it.
to hell.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, what did I create?
Well,
or
but
whatever.
they have that moment where he says, "Look, and now we're both stuck here."
Yeah,
and I think
yeah.
in a way of Eric finally going home and seeing the beauty of Wakanda, and sort of maybe at the last minute realizing that maybe not that he's wrong, but he's gone too far, and
He
I don't
kind of
know.
wins in that sense. Like
Yeah,
that was
he
his,
changes
as it-
T'Challa's mind. Yeah, he does
He changes
ultimately
his
open
mind.
up Wakanda, so he does bring about like a better world.
And as just from his kid dream too, like he says, I was a kid believing in fairy tales,
Right.
And then he, in his dying breath, gets to see the most magnificent sunset over this magnificent city. So like he kind of like gets the shit he wants. I liked that stuff a lot. I also didn't realize, like the narration in the beginning. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe everybody like realized this when they left the movie, but I realized a few days later the beginning narration was Eric and his dad. It was his dad.
Oh, shit, I didn't
It was
realize that.
he was telling Eric. That was the kid's voice.
I thought it
Yeah.
was
That was-
T'Challa's dad. Oh my
that
god,
was
that's
him telling
fucking
him the fairy tale of
awesome.
Wakanda.
Yeah.
See, that changes my perspective on that opening so
Yeah, dude, sure.
entirely. Because I thought it was just another narration. I was like, this sucks, whatever.
Right.
But now I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That changes it a lot. That's okay, thank you. That's fucking awesome.
I'm gonna go look on IMDb,
See, okay,
and they're like,
see,
"No, it was
Here's the
actually."
thing. I don't hate this movie. I don't
No,
hate
yeah,
it.
no.
I don't even like dislike it. It's just that I bought into the hype. And when I saw it, I was let down so hard.
That's fair,
trap.
man, because it's like
And-
that's hard to avoid. It's like
I did too.
And if I didn't buy the hype and I just went and saw it like I saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier, it would be my favorite Marvel movie. I think it would
Yeah.
have done it for me, but I bought so hard into it.
It's tough, dude.
This one needs a rewatch because I got hyped really hard on the first watch, and I was like, oh. And then
Yeah.
the second rewatch, I saw it for what it really was, and I enjoyed it a lot more.
I also just like these kinds of like his suit is fucking cool, and I like superheroes that move the way that he moves.
Yeah.
Like kind of all exclusively on my favorite ones are like
agile.
it's the agile. It's moving around, jumping off walls
He's
and
like
shit.
Captain
and like
America. That's why I like his
yes,
movements.
but he's
more agile.
But
yeah.
he's Captain America, but he's got cool ass claws and a
Yeah.
sick mask, and that's where I'm like, all right, no, cool, that's great. We
Yeah.
were talking about how in video games I used to pretend like if you were playing as someone else, or you could get like a crazy costume in a Spider-Man game. I was always just pretend like, or in a different game, I'd pretend it was Spider-Man just in a different suit, running around because I always thought that was cool. I was like, what if he's just playing? Like, what if he's just in a different suit?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Yeah, I'm crazy. Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Hey.
I think another reason this is why I need to rewatch it. You're right. I timed my edible at the Grove
Yep.
for the 8:30 showing. No, for the 9 o'clock showing. And then I got there to check out a movie pass, and he was like, "You've got to see the 10:30," and that
What?
ruined so much for me. So I think I got a lot more out of the first hour than the second.
Oh, that's fair then.
So I got to rewatch it
You're having a way better time for
with a
about half of
better
it.
edible time management
So
system.
here's the thing. My edible was way too strong. I didn't get what the fish man was doing there,
Oh, God.
why the mute woman was in love with him.
I
but-
hate that movie.
Otherwise- You hate
edible
that-
or
you hate
not,
Shape
that
of
is
Water?
a bad movie.
You
I don't
didn't
give
like
a
Shape
fuck.
of Water?
No, man. Oh,
No, he fucks the fish. That's disgusting.
I'll tell you that. I like that they went there. I like that they.
No, I
they
like
didn't
the fish
shy back.
fucking.
They
I hate
didn't shy
everything
away,
else.
But fucking yeah, it was just like boring to me. I like Michael Shannon, but that's about it.
All right, well, that's a conversation
Yeah, we'll go,
for another
oh,
day.
we're gonna
Yeah,
have,
sorry.
we're gonna have our
Yeah.
Oscars retrospective. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk about all the Oscar movies. We should
Maybe.
do that.
Sure.
Maybe.
No, I mean, yeah.
No, I've said it on air. We're doing it,
Well,
and then we're also gonna do the we're gonna get the Spider-Man party. We're gonna have. Remember?
do the
It could be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I said it on air, so we're doing it.
we're gonna go to the Tim takes Dom to Chuck E. Cheese.
yes, that episode.
Favorite episode. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh shit, are we doing
We're gonna do
text?
Predicted.
I guess. Do we want to have any final thoughts? We'll just run through last thoughts about the movie.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anybody? Do you want to kick it off? Just like a final thought.
Yeah.
Any kind of last thing you want to say?
No, but
Perfect.
it's not on the movie. Can I just say something random?
Sure.
There's a movie on Netflix that I saw the other day, and I think it might be one of my new favorite movies now, called 1922. So watch
Is that Stephen King one?
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
It just caught me off guard. I'll say that. I think it's more like I was high, I'm going through a breakup, and it was like 3 a.m, and I just turned it on, and I was like,
man.
oh my God. It's like really good. It's like, it ends... It's
Yusef,
a good movie.
everything will be okay.
It's better. No.
Oh my God! This
Holy
is
shit.
Totally by surprise.
The fuck, Thomas
Order a
Jane?
pizza. It's on me. Charge it to this credit card number.
It's good. It's good. Check it out. It's good for like of Netflix originals. It's gonna like
Shit. All
it's
right,
gonna
cool.
blow you out. It's better than you think. You know.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a great.
I'll say
final
this: if
thought.
you like There Will Be Blood, you're gonna enjoy it. It's like a poor man's that.
Here's my ready for this
drink
on air as
your
well.
root beer float.
I have never seen There Will Be Blood.
well,
okay.
I gotta go. Yeah,
that was it for us.
Don't release this episode. I want it to my name scrubbed off this podcast. That is my favorite movie, no question.
Really?
No, no question.
I don't know what's holding me up because I'm not like I don't not think it looks good. I don't even like it's not even like it disinterests me. It's just one of those ones that has been looming over me and it is accidentally I think it fell into the homework part of my brain.
Yeah,
Where
I
I'm
feel
like,
you.
I'll see it eventually.
Right. It's
Like,
not a movie that you want to watch for fun. Where it's like,
Well, no, but I
need to
do
be
because
able
I
to-
know that I'll like it. Like I know even just from what it is texturally.
In my brain, I'm trying to do math, like of thinking, like, oh well, you know, it's probably overhyped, or you won't. But it's like, nah, I think
pretty
you're
fucking
missing
great.
out on an experience, man. It's
All right.
pretty fucking awesome.
I need to
Will
just
be
like
crud.
what?
There will be. There will be.
No, go,
I-
go.
no,
Please
no,
go ahead.
I-
There
okay,
will
so
there will be Duke.
all right, here we go.
This fucking
What's your final thoughts?
Tim just wants to sleep.
Yeah, Tim's done. He's been ready for bed since we got here.
He's like, I ate like a lasagna or whatever and saw a movie, whatever the fuck he did.
I wish that's what I did.
Garfield. Final thoughts. It enchanted me. I was excited to like have a new sci-fi fantasy thing where there were new rules that I didn't quite know. And even in the comics, even in my Marvel Comics knowledge, Black Panther was always like, I mean, basically anyone who isn't Spider-Man existed peripherally to me. And I would know basically like I would know who they were and I would see they would go over to their story for a little bit, but I never had like a full picture of Wakanda or Black Panther. So this was like felt very fresh and cool to me. And I was like, oh, that's that thing. Oh, cool. Oh, sweet. And I don't remember really the last, let alone the last Marvel movie, but the last like true kind of fantasy world movie that I was like, ooh, new rules and new myths about
Sure.
the kings and all this. Like, I don't know. So I was ready for it and I received it.
It's dope. Yeah, I'm into it.
I too was ready, and I did receive it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very
Face
much.
down,
I,
dog.
Yeah,
I
with
felt
Ready
I
to
liked it.
receive.
I liked it. It was good. We'll move on to predictive text movie
All right, let's
review.
do it.
That's my final thoughts. Okay, so predictive text movie review. This is a game where we're going to ask our phone what they thought of the movie. We punch in the name of the movie, which is Black Panther, and then using the 3 available selections that your phone gives you, you're going to build a review of the film.
All right, I'm doing it right now.
All right, I got mine.
I got mine.
All right, we're going to kick it off. Yusef, you go first.
Black Panther is in my place for the first time in years, and I'm gonna know you are the best friend.
That's like a kid's dream of like, Black Panther's my best friend. Like he came over, he's in my house for the first time.
But in years though, so it's like kind of a like for the first long lost like
we haven't seen each other
For
in
the
a
first
while.
time in years,
First time in
I want him
years,
to be
man.
my best friend.
Mine weirdly.
that's M'Baku. That's M'Baku's review.
So mine is Black Panther was my way back to my house, and now I'm going back home. So
Kind
to
of symbolic to the
Wakanda.
Spider-Man thing.
Sure,
you know,
yeah, right.
Some ties.
Homecoming, yeah. Mine is Black Panther is a little better, but still not a big, dumb, idiot, racist meme.
Ooh,
You're
that
kidding.
is
You're
so
joking.
on the nose.
You're kidding,
That
dude.
is fucking.
I'm not
I mean, that might be a
100%
real review.
legit.
What I-
that could be on the. that
what
could
I
be-
love is that that's because it thinks
That's
that's like an assemblage of shit that you've said before.
Exactly.
And it's pretty sure that's what you're going to say about it. Like mine
not
always...
about it, but it knows that I feel like every time I talk about a racist, it is started with big dumb idiot.
And also, you know, if you're bringing black up,
Right,
race
it's
is getting in there
immediately
somewhere.
it's coming right
It is
into
funny that they.
Wow.
Oh fuck, dude, that's good.
I had a realization that like every time I would type in the word pace, it would capitalize the P, and for whatever reason, just like set the pace, capital pace. I'm like, what the fuck? And I realized it's because I write about Lee Pace way more often than I use
What
the
the
word
fuck?
Pace. The actor Lee Pace, he was in Pushing Daisies.
No, I know who he is. I'm saying what
He was
the
in Thor
fuck
Dark
are you...
World.
He was fucking Malekith.
Just putting it out there. It's a good movie.
Wait, what? No, he wasn't. He was.
Yes, he was.
the big bad.
Lee Pace was not Malekith. Lee Pace was. Lee Pace was Ronan was Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
What's his name was Malekith, the guy, the original Doctor Who from the new
wait,
series.
you're right.
Oh, okay.
I confused those
I don't
two
know
dudes
why I
all
thought-
the time.
Both of y'all.
I thought...
fuck,
Why did
both
I
of
thought
y'all.
Lee Pace was in Dark World.
So did I.
I thought I could. I remember seeing
Guardians
his
of the
name
Galaxy,
for some
bitch.
reason.
I'm the number one Pace fan at this because whose phone capitalizes Pace? Who is it there?
Good
It's
point.
me.
You are the pacemaker.
I'm the pace-
so fucking, you would know, man.
the Paceman.
Oh, man.
Okay, fucking all right. We're gonna do this three-headed critic, and then
great.
we're gonna do plugs, and then we're gonna get the fuck out of here. So three-headed critic. This is a game where we all say one word going around in a circle until it's a complete thought about the movie. So it will go Yusef, Dom, me, you, Dom, in a circle
yeah.
until it's a complete thought. All right, and kick it off.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Fresca.
Has
Very
Delicious.
Bubbles
but
Black.
Panther
had
Not
as
many.
bubbles.
so
I
Can't
even
make
out
with
my
girl friend.
dad.
period.
It was like at the end it was like
Just like my son, he's like ever since he ate those Tide Pods, he just hasn't come back.
He's like a weird kind of gay. I don't know what the fuck.
well, Fresca has many different bubbles, but Black Panther didn't have as many bubbles, so I can't make out with my girlfriend, Dad.
Yeah, I think he came out to the closet, but like in a very roundabout way.
I don't really
Had nothing to
know.
do with soda. I don't know
I
what
can't
the fuck.
even express why that's so funny. It's just like, what could possibly be the reason?
That you would ever say that to your
Okay, geez, hey. Thank you so much for being our guest, Yusef Roach.
Yo, thanks for having me. This is
Where
fun
can
as
they
fuck,
find you? Where can people find you? If they want to
Just follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Yusef Roach. YUSEF ROACH.
Cool. Do you have
Easy.
YouTube? Do you have like clips or anything on YouTube?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you just YouTube my name, there's like stand-up videos. I haven't put
cool.
one up in a while, but
Do you have a show coming up? Anything to plug?
yeah, actually, when is I'm well. If you're in LA,
This will probably be up by like Sunday, Monday.
oh yeah, if you're in LA by chance and you're listening to this, I'm on the Gateway show March 20th, I think, which is like where comedians tell jokes and then get high and then tell jokes again. So
Cool.
That should be fun.
About Gateway Computers, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, about
Sponsored by Gateway.
Yeah, it's dude, you're getting a Gateway, which is not the slogan, but you have to say it every set.
I was gonna say the Dell show across the street is just fucking furious.
Competition's stiff out here, you know. There's a lot of competing businesses. Dell and Gateway. Why'd you look at me like that? We were talking about that.
I didn't know if you had anything to plug. You have anything cool coming up?
Fuck.
Yeah, me too.
No. I mean, just stick around, man. Hopefully you'll have a cool thing to talk about at some point.
Okay.
around.
Well, great. That's fantastic.
What about you, Tim?
I have a plug. It's for www.patreon.com/reasonable beef. Give what you can. $1 gives you access to all that bonus content. We're fucking behind. That's the night behind. I'm sorry. If you didn't understand that I have such a busy schedule. Hey, yeah, and $1 gives you access to any kind of back content that we have, bonus content and high quality episodes, which I also haven't uploaded yet. Hey, you basically supporting the show. I can't believe I'm losing to a rug.
Dude, that was on the tip of my fucking tongue. I was about to say, I can't believe it. I'm losing to a rug.
I can't wait to see that in the live action. I wonder how much zaniness they're going to keep in that live action in their lab.
You know what I hadn't
Have you heard
thought
about
about?
Live action Aladdin?
No, I only heard about live action Lion King. I didn't hear about Aladdin.
Oh, they're
Will
doing
Smith
Aladdin.
is a genie.
Is he really?
I swear to you.
All right,
Okay.
you got me. I'm in.
That's cool.
He's making some iffy decisions lately,
He
but I'm
is,
in.
Yeah.
but I don't know what the one is going to be. But the fact is, he keeps making decisions. He's not out of people's minds. You know what I mean? And there's going to be one in the next few that he does. One of them's going to be like Will Smith is back doing awesome movies again.
Yeah.
I don't know
Maybe
which
that's
one
the
it's going to
plan.
be.
Bad Boys 3? Hopefully.
Sure.
Are they doing it?
They've been talking about it for like 20 years, like fucking forever.
It's a bright crossover.
No.
They're gonna put Martin Lawrence.
No.
They're gonna put Martin Lawrence in the orc make.
I ain't getting no caught with no orc. Hey, fuck you, orc.
Oh Christ! Thank you so much for listening to Reasonable Beef. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Nah, dude, thanks for coming. On a Wednesday night, no less.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably should do that. Thank you very much, Yusef Roach, for being our guest.
yeah, appreciate
And then
you.
we're gonna one more time at Yusef Roach, Twitter, Instagram. It's just gonna be the fade out as I'm rambling.
I want more games. That time was so fun.
Let's just
game?
end this podcast for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
we go.
I know. When did we stop on the Black Panther stuff?
don't know.
It was like 20 minutes ago. That's
No,
kind
it
of
wasn't that bad. We
That's
tied it.
par for the course.
The rest is empty with no brain, but the clever nerd, the best MC with no chain you ever heard. Take it from the Tech 9 holder. David don't know they next shine from Shinola. Everything that glitter ain't fish scale. Let me think, don't let a faint kid Ishmael. A